Hi everyone, this is Ishita and I'm the training trainer for SAP SuccessFactors Learning Management System for Uplatz. So today we will be talking about the navigation of administrator side interface in which we covered in the previous session. However, in continuation with the navigation of administrator side of interface, we will move ahead to understand what other activities can also be catered as part of administrator side of interface, right? So previously we had let's have a walkthrough of what we have learned in the previous navigation of administrator side of interface. So when we talk about navigation of administrator side of interface, what did we learn in the previous slide is, explore the user entity concepts and layouts, define how a new user is added into a SAP SuccessFactors learning, creating various search filters, how a filter can be used, how a detail item detail page is viewed, how columns are added, what is the usage of each of the icons, what is the usage of each of the filters, how a workspace can be utilized, or how a filter can be created, is all that we have learned. How an administrator roles and permissions are being granted, depending on the roles and permissions that are being granted to the user in the administrator interface, what tabs will they be able to see, what navigations will they be able to navigate, what type of fields will they be able to see, what type of fields will they it be hidden for them even as an administrator. So this is all that we have learned, how the RVP permissions are being granted to them. Apart from that, we have also learned that how they are being permissioned, how roles are being restricted, how domains are created, how the domain hierarchy works in the organization structure. So this is all that we have learned as part of the learning administrator interface. Access and explore the user entity concepts and layout, define how a new user is added into a success factors learning. So when we say that how a new user is added into SuccessFactors learning, it means that a user is available into Employee Central or Employee Profile, which is the core HR data system of SAP SuccessFactors. So from there, how will the user be created or how will the user data be available into the SuccessFactors learning system? Definitely, we will learn about the integration concept. But apart from that integration concept, we have also learned how a new user is being defined. Okay. Um, Apart from that, we have also download, view, save, and search results. Explore the layouts of the administrator interface and entities, which talks about, workspace. We have understood how header toolbar looks, how header taskbar looks, how each of the icons like dollar sign, at, plus, minus, into, all of these icons look like. What is the usage of help icon? Where does this navigation, take down to? So all of these things is that we have learned. So in order to learn all of these things and proceed further, we will have to understand in continuation what all are the various entities available in the administrator side of interface in continuation to what we have learned previously. We have also learned layout of the learning administration homepage. We have also learned how, menu is being there, how we expand the options, how we collapse various options. We have learned that. We have also learned the menu navigation, how, under each menu, how each of the fields are being defined, how each of the navigations are being updated. So how do we navigate to that? So this is something that we have learned. We have also learned about workspace area. What does workspace area consist of? Workspace area consists of various tabs, columns, fields, filters, items, assignments, searches, recents, is all that, that consists of workspace area. Workspace area also consists of reports, right? So we have standard reports which are used for auditing and compliance purposes. And so in order for auditing and compliance purposes, we use multiple kind of reports in the workspace area. So when we talk about that, yes, that defines, that helps us understand the statistics, That helps us understand the data, learning data into the success factors, learning management system. Okay, now let's move ahead to proceed with today's session and go back to the slide for day 5. So the first one, as part of today's topic, is searching for entities. When I talk about searching for entities, it means searching. The search feature is critical to most functions in the system, including viewing entities and using tools. Each menu navigation option selected will open the search page. Use the search feature to create and delete a search filter. Add and remove criteria from your search filter. Adjust the display of your search results. Save your search to uh, save your search to use later. Sort your search results. Download search results to Microsoft Excel. So these are all the provisions which help us under the search entity, that helps us, define all of these things. The search feature is critical to most functions in the system, including viewing entities and using tools. So when we talk about viewing entities, what does it mean? We can create various filters. I remember, we talked about that in the previous slide, like, how a filter field can be applied. How can we remove the filter field from the search entity option or from the search selected option? Next is add and remove criteria from your search filter, right? The next is adjust the display of your search results. Save your search to use later, right? We can also save the search, right? For example, we are searching for a particular item. We are searching for a particular class, right? In the middle of a search, we have, suppose for example, we have got something which is urgent, which is a priority issue, which needs to be looked into immediately. So what will you do? In that case, you will use the option of save your search to use later. So it means that when you save the search, when you previously navigate, when you come back to the learning administrator interface, and try to search what were you working on. Probably it will help you if you have saved the search using the later option. So you don't need to put all the filters right from the beginning. Maybe you need to start from where you left off. So that is something which is definitely minimizing the time that you have spent earlier in, maybe using the filters, downloading the results, search results to Microsoft Excel. Maybe you have used various filter options to search, to, check for some data. For example, when I talk about filter options, maybe you have applied, two filters, through filters. So what happens in case of, if you have not saved the search, if you have not saved the search, everything just goes off and you will have to start from the scratch. So in order to avoid that, or in order to, curtail down to such issues, what you will do is you will save the search. So we also have a search option. When I talk about adjust the display of your search results, when we say that adjust the display of your search results, it means you can incorporate some additional fields. It means you can incorporate some additional filters. So when you incorporate additional filters or fields, it helps to advance your search. The search results gives you a more defined result. In the Excel or the view that you see or the options that you see in the file, it gives a more refined search because you will get the data to what the requirement is. Suppose, a business has requested to give you a learning a history of the users for last 6 months. So you will put the date filter, you will put the user ID, or you have, various domain, department, um, I think these are all the things that you will use. So apart from that, when you use it, so what happens is you will be able to get a more refined search result, right? So it will give you the approximate result of what the client is looking for, what the business requirement is. So this is a very important functionality to understand how searching for entities works. So the search feature is critical to most of the functions in the system, including viewing entities and using each of the tools. So if you do not know how to use a search filter, it takes a lot of time to, put a maybe a domain, put a date filter, manually search here and there, and then it gives you the data. So if you know properly how to use a entity search, it becomes easy for handling day-to-day activities. Next is commonly used search icons. To begin a search, the administrator will choose an entity from the menu tab. The workspace area will display a search screen for that entity. For example, selecting items from the menu will display the item search screen. What happens to begin a search? The administrator will choose an entity from the menu tab. So on the screen, you see that we have selected the entity as items, right? So selecting items from the menu will display the item search screen. So after I have selected items, what can we use? If we know the revision date, well and good. If not, we know the item ID, we know the item type. We can put the security domain, or we have used one filter condition over here. We have used one filter condition over here. If we don't know any of this, we can use item title, contains keyword. You can, if it is, code of conduct, if it is cyber security, if it is compliance. So it's just put the item title as compliance, contains compliance. All the courses related to compliance will appear over there. So what happens? It makes the work more easier, right? Then next is the revision date. What does revision date means? Revision date means the item was created on which date. So you might not be aware of when the item was created majority of the times. You will not be able to recall when was the item created unless and until you have the data. So in order to, not use, it is not recommended to use a revision date filter. Rather, it is recommended to use either an item title or item ID filter and item status. So these are the, most used search icons in the item workspace or in the item entity. So this gives you more refined search. This will give you, particular to that. What if you don't know what is the item ID? What if you don't know what is the item title? How will you search for it? So in order to search for it, what will you do? You will put the security domain filter. So security domain filter can be used. It can be, definitely updated over there. You can just put security domains as, public, avoid public. You can say HR, right? So the HR domain courses, all of the HR domain courses, or we talked about East, West, North, South. So when we talk about security domains as East, West, North, South, so it can be used as East, security domain as East, and put the filter, select the filter, and you can use the search option. So what happens is when you search the option, so it will get updated as it will refine all the search results. Now let's move to the next slide, which is commonly used search icons. Now we talk about the description of the terminologies for learning admin, which lists the icons and their descriptions of the most commonly used search functions in SAP SuccessFactors Learning. What is select date? The select date icon is associated with the date field. Use it to select and populate the corresponding date field. Filter by criteria. Use the filter by criteria icon to find and select a corresponding entity to include in your search filter. We definitely had a, long demonstration on what filter by criteria means or what select date option means. We can put the date range starting from maybe from Jan to June for 6 months of the year, right? Clear filter. Use the clear filter icon to clear the content of your corresponding search filter. Each entity is SAP SuccessFactors Learning has got multiple attributes associated with it, and some of the attributes may be very useful in conducting searches. The system gives many search enhanced criteria filters to determine the attributes of the entity that you would like to use for your search. So when I talk about search, when I'm demonstrating about search, it might be, a very small functionality in the SuccessFactors system. It might sound like that. But yes, when you work on a day-to-day basis. Like search is also used for adding or removing search filters, right? So under adding or removing search filters, this definitely gives a more visible result. This definitely gives a more approximate data considering reports and analytics and stuffs like that. The search filter determines the contents of your results by listing only entities that satisfy all the criteria specified by your filter. For example, you may want to list only users who are part of the specific organization, right? It may be only a list of users who are part of the specific organization. So when I talk about specific organization, I said HR. We can also say finance. We can also say network. We can also say legal, right? These are various departments in your specific organization. You must specify the organization in a filter and apply that filter to the search criteria to see only users that relate to the selected organization. This is beneficial for administrators to search by various attributes of specific criteria when an exact ID is not known. So I talked about it. You may not know the item ID, you may not know the item title. How will you do it? So when it says you may want to list only users who are part of the organization, which filter criteria will you use for searching? You will use the domain criteria. That's a criteria which give you more enhanced search results, right? Apart from that, uh, it is useful in many other forms, like it gives more search criteria filters to determine the attributes of the entity that you would like to use it for your search. Okay, next, to add a search attribute to the entity search screen, what are the various steps to add a search attribute to the entity search screen? First one is navigate to the search screen for your entity. Next is determine if the attributes that you want to search on are displayed on the screen. It means that if that particular field is available. Suppose if you want to see search by item status, you will have to first look at if the item status field is available on the search screen or not. Next, what happens if the item filter status is not applicable? The attributes are not displayed. Choose add or remove criteria to locate additional search attributes available for the entity. If the attributes are not displayed, what will you do? You will click on the add or remove criteria. You will locate the additional search filter that you're looking forward or field for available for that particular entity. In the search criteria pop-up window, select the checkboxes corresponding to the attributes you want to add to the search screen and then choose select, right? So what will happen? You will select that particular field. You will, search it and select the checkbox corresponding to the attributes you want to add to the search screen and then choose select. So after you choose select, what happens? What is the end result? What is the expected outcome? The search attributes will be added to the entire entity search screen. So item status filter is not available, field is not available. You will click on add or remove criteria. You will locate that filter. You will locate that field. You will select it. You will checkbox it. You will submit it, right? In the select search criteria pop, select the checkbox corresponding to the attribute you want to add to the search screen and then choose select and submit. Okay. After that, the result expected or the outcome expected is the search attributes will be added to the entity search screen. All right. Next is to add filter criteria to search attributes. To create the filter on the criteria, click the filter by criteria icon corresponding to the search attribute. Specify the filter criteria to get more granular search results for the attribute. Choose search to display your search result. Select the checkboxes next to the choices from the search result. Choose add to filter. This will display your selected criteria as a filter.x. Confirm your selections and click Submit filter. Okay, now let's look at it step by step. To add filter criteria to search attribute, what is the click the filter by criteria icon corresponding to the search attribute, right? You have a filter icon, we need to click on that. Specify the filter criteria to get a more granular search, which I talked about, to get a more refined search result for the attribute. Choose search to display your search results. Select the checkboxes next to the choices from the search results. Choose add to filter. This will display your selected criteria as a filter.x. Confirm your selections and click submit filter. Just you need to put whatever the search results are, whatever the date range is, or whatever the domains required, whatever the department is required. So we can put that filter, and the search icon will display the relevant results accordingly. All right. So we need to select the check boxes next to the choices from the search results. This will choose add to filter. This will display the selected criteria as a filter.x option. Confirm your selections and click submit filter. The entity search screen displays the selected criteria next to the search attribute. Now let's move to the further slide. The next one is selecting from a list. SAP SuccessFactors Learning has a number of reference lists that you can select from without creating and submitting a filter. You must review the list and check the objects you want to use in your search filter. Steps are navigate to people, users, if necessary, add the employee type, search criteria. What happens is SAP SuccessFactors Learning has a number of reference lists that you can select from without creating and submitting a filter. You must review the list and check the object you want to use in your search filter. What are the steps in selecting from a list? So, you have downloaded the search results. All the results have been refined, and in fact, it has got, the required number of results. So, in order to do that, what happens? Steps navigate to people, users. If necessary, add the employee type search criteria. Choose the employee type filter by criteria icon. If you do not know the exact employee type ID, enter search criteria in the search employee type section of the screen and click search. So what happens? Use the and employee type search criteria, right? Employee type filter by criteria icon. If you do not know the exact employee type ID, enter search criteria in the search employee type section of the screen and click search. You see a list from which you can select one or more objects to populate the related field. Check the box for the record which you wish to select. Click Add to Filter. The selection is added to the search filter. Review the filter for accuracy. Click Submit Filter. What happens? You will be returned to the original search screen and see the employee type search attribute has one criteria selected for this filter. To clear the list of selected entities, click the Clear Filter icon. So if you have selected, you want to remove the filter icon, you want to put another filter, you will use the option of click the filter icon, and you will remove it from there. So, okay. What happens after that is you will be returned to the original search screen and see the employee type search attribute as one criteria selected for this filter. Now, adjusting the display of your search results. To adjust the display of your search results in the search results section, click Field Chooser. The Field Chooser pop-up window displays. Use this window to determine which attributes of the listed entities to display in the search results and in which column. The first column always displays the record ID, right? And then it is non-editable. Most importantly, it is non-editable. For some entities, the second column is non-editable as well. Why? Because we cannot add or remove other columns. Second, we do not have permissions. Permission is something that plays a greater role in the SuccessFactors learning management system. Select the attributes you want to display. In this example, you want to show the job location field in the third column and active in the fourth column. Enter the number of column from the left in which you want to see the data. The column you enter is sequential. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Click submit to search your search results. Okay. So this is the screenshot of how the navigation works. Adjusting the display of your search results. To adjust the display of your search results, uh, we have this option of field chooser. So we want to include the usage of job location, right? We have selected the field of job location. We have clicked on submit. After we have clicked on submit, then we close this window. So the next window that appears over here is this one. So you have the field of job location being added over here. Then whatever job locations are being mapped to all of these users will reflect. Then you also have the option of download search results. You will be able to download all the search results in the Excel format, which becomes easier for you to, handle or, track or audit any type of data. Next is sorting search results. Once you have the result you are looking for, you can sort it out based on key columns on your list, except the user ID, username, description, and employee status column or field. To sort the list by an entity, find the column and click the header. An up arrow head indicates ascending order. So we can, use up arrow, down arrow. So this indicates ascending order and descending order. And a down arrow head indicates descending order. Downloading search results. Once you perform the search and see the results listed on the screen, you can download the search results to an Excel file. What does it mean? You see the option of download search results. After you have downloaded this, you see that there are so many total records pertaining to this job location ID search, right? Whatever the filter you have used, whatever field you have used to search the result. So in order to pertain to that, you will find that there are, multiple options here. And one among that which is extensively used is download search results, which gives a more granular search result and easy handling of all the tasks, right? So today here we complete with all the search results and the search entity functionality. Next we will be, on next session and in the further upcoming classes, we'll be looking at what other administrator side of interface caters down to. Yeah. Thank you.